This tutorial will cover how to make a title block that is both recessed and raised. We will start by making a block. So just like any other project in SolidWorks, you will first come up here to New, then select Part. In your student edition, it will be a little different. You will just have a part assembly or a diagram. So we're just going to start with part. Now we will select the top plane and right click. This will bring up a little menu here. It'll highlight it out here and it'll bring up this menu. We want to hit sketch because we need to make a sketch of a block to start with. So we will come up under sketch menu, select a square. We're going to start out with this box here that has the first click as center and the second click as to sizing that block. This will keep it centered on the point of origin if we click that as our origin spot or wherever about your first click is. So we're going to start with that one. If you notice, as you hover above your origin, that it creates a yellow block with a couple of lines with a green dot. That means that you are selecting that point, which is the origin that's highlighted in orange. So we will click on that one, and then we'll just come out and give it some size. Then we will come up to Smart Dimension, and we can say OK here, then Smart Dimension. Now we can click on this line. We'll start by resizing this to 1 inch. That'll automatically resize both sides because they're linked together, because this is a square. So next thing we'll do is we will adjust the length of this box. So we'll make this box, say, 3 inches long. And you can readjust this later if it does not fit your name in this. So now that we have a box that's the size that we want, we need to give it some depth. Because right now it's just a 2D drawing. We need a 3D object. So we're going to go up here to Features. And under Features, we have an option here called Extrude Boss Base. We click that. We can extrude up how far we want in two different ways. One, which is not as exact, we can use this arrow to change the height. Or over here, we can select a exact size that we want. So we're going to go 0.5 inches. Then we say yes, OK up here in the corner. We want to do that. Now we have a box, a solid box, that we can start with to create our title block. So now this title block, we will need to, on one side, cut into it. On the other side, we will need to extrude our name. So first of all, we were going to select this top face here and right click on it, and then you can hit sketch again. That will highlight this face that we are going to draw on. So next thing you need to do is you need to put it to a position where you can easily look at what you're drawing on. So up here, there's this little box here that says View Orientation. We will hit the down arrow. We have this one over here. It says Normal to. And that will move this directly to our view. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is we need to put some text on this. So under Sketch, and this one that has an A, it says Text. We'll click that, and it will bring up this menu here. We will now enter our name, So I will enter my name here. And then if you notice, if you come over here and you click inside the square, you can move around where your name sits. That's pretty centered for my name, so I'm going to just leave it right there. And I'm going to say OK. Now that just created some lines here. I'm going to zoom in. Those lines now have my name on it. We will now, under Features, we are going to cut those letters into this block. Now, you can see it automatically comes up with the dimension you last had, but we don't want that because we don't want to go clean through the box. If we turn the box, you can see that this is cutting into this box. But we don't want that far, so we're going to come in here and change this to 0.25. So half the distance of the height of this box. So we will say OK. Now we zoom in here, you can see that you have letters that are cut into this box. So now we're going to resize this box because this box is way too big. So if we right click on Boss Extrude, you can come in here and edit sketch, or you can hit the plus arrow on the side and come down to the sketch and right click it and edit the sketch there. Either one will work. So since this is too big, I'm going to change this dimension. So I'm going to left click on it, and I'm going to change it to a 0.5 inches. Then I'm going to say OK here. Then I'm going to click on this dimension here. I'm going to change it from 3 inches to 1.5 inches. I think that'll be pretty close. Then after resizing, I will go up here to the top where it says rebuild. You have a green and red light, sort of like a stoplight. You'll click on that. That will rebuild the object. You notice over here you have everything's highlighted, nothing's highlighted, so everything is completed at the moment. Okay, we are going to take this and we are going to sketch on the back side. So right click again and then edit sketch. Again, we will come up here and we will say normal 2. Okay. Now, this time we will sketch again our name. Okay. Now, I'm going to come down here. You can adjust by taking off this check mark, use document format. We can change the size of these letters. So I can make it bigger, longer. I can also adjust the spacing. You can also adjust the font by clicking Font. Okay, now that this comes up with font, we can change this. We're going to go to a bold italic. We will stay with the Century Gothic, and then we will change the points. So we can change this to any point structure we want by clicking here on points. It's at 13 currently. So let's change this to, we'll say, a 16. We'll say OK. You notice now that my name is now italicized and it is been changed in size. Again, clicking to move it to center, I can adjust where it ends up. And that's pretty centered right there. Then we'll come in here and say OK, that we want this sketch text. Okay, now that we have this drawing, now we're going to go to features and we're going to extrude. Now when we extrude, we can turn this and we can see how it's going to extrude. So I'm going to change this from a 1/4 inch to an 1/8 inch. So I can go in 1 divided by 8. Oops. First delete the information that was there. Then I can go 1 divided by 8. If you notice, it'll act like a calculator. It'll automatically change that fraction into a decimal. So we will say OK. And now you have your title block. So this is the end of this tutorial. Thank you and have a good day.